Hello, Atlanta Falcons fans. Today, we have some big news that you won't want to miss. So get ready, because we have some important updates coming your way. But before we dive in, take a moment to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update about our Atlanta Falcons. Also, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps grow our community and brings this content to more passionate Falcons fans like you. All right. Let's get straight to today's news. Kirk Cousins linked to an AFC team. It looks like Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons are getting ready to go their separate ways next month. And now, an AFC team has been mentioned as a possible new home for him. On Sunday, during an appearance on ESPN's SportsCenter, NFL insider Jeremy Fowler suggested that the New York Jets could be interested in signing Cousins once he becomes available. Fowler pointed out that the Jets have shown interest in Cousins in the past, and they might try to bring him in again. With the NFL scouting combine coming up in about a week and a half, Atlanta and Cousins' agent are expected to have serious talks about his future. Let's see what happens next. Are the New York Jets eyeing Kirk Cousins? Again, at one point, the New York Jets really wanted to sign Kirk Cousins. Now he's expected to be one of the top quarterbacks available. Jeremy Fowler added that Cousins is set to receive a $10 million roster bonus on March 17th, so the Falcons will want to decide on his future before then. Back in 2018, the Jets were all in on signing Cousins, but he used their offer as leverage and ended up joining the Minnesota Vikings instead. Now, the Jets have a new front office, but they could still be interested in bringing Cousins in, especially since they've decided to move on from Aaron Rodgers and don't have a clear plan at quarterback for the short or long term. If the Jets go after Cousins, they won't be the only ones. Even though the team struggled last season with a 5-12 record, they have talent on both offense and defense and a starting quarterback spot open. If they do sign Cousins, they could even trade him later if things don't work out. The presence of big playmakers like Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson makes the Jets an attractive option. But will Cousins be the right fit? Meanwhile, in Atlanta, Cousins lost his starting job late last season to rookie Michael Penix Jr. A big reason for this was Cousins' turnover problems. He threw 16 interceptions in just 14 games. Now, the question is, where will Cousins end up next? Stay tuned. Is Kirk Cousins still a top QB option? Even with his struggles, Kirk Cousins still managed to throw for 358 yards in his last game. However, some concerns remained about whether he had fully recovered from the Achilles injury he suffered in 2023. The Falcons dismissed these concerns, saying he was healthy, but doubts lingered. The 36-year-old quarterback signed a massive 4-year, $180 million contract with Atlanta last offseason. This time around, he won't get a deal anywhere near that size. But one thing is clear. Cousins believes he can still win as a starting quarterback in the NFL. Falcons need a game-changer at edge rusher. In a perfect world, the Atlanta Falcons would land the next Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, or T.J. Watt with the 15th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. For years, a dominant edge rusher has been one of the team's biggest needs. Getting a superstar pass rusher on a rookie contract could completely change the Falcons' defense and even reshape the entire organization. But, of course, we don't live in a perfect world. The Falcons could choose an edge rusher at number 15, with options like James Pierce or Mike Green, or they might wait and pick up a Day 2 or Day 3 prospect instead. Either way, one thing is clear. The Falcons need to learn from 2024. Rookies often take time to develop, and even top picks may not be ready to dominate right away. So, will Atlanta finally find the pass rusher they desperately need? Or will they take another route? Stay tuned. Should the Falcons target veteran edge rusher Preston Smith? The Atlanta Falcons have been searching for a dominant edge rusher for years. While drafting a young superstar would be ideal, relying on a rookie to make an immediate impact isn't always realistic. That's why Atlanta should strongly consider signing a proven veteran, and a big name just became available. Preston Smith, a perfect fit for Atlanta? On February 14th, ESPN's Adam Schefter and other NFL insiders reported that the Pittsburgh Steelers released Preston Smith to clear $13.4 million in salary cap space. For Pittsburgh, this move made sense. Smith was expected to be a backup in 2025. But in Atlanta, he could start immediately. Smith, who is originally from Stone Mountain, Georgia, was once rumored to be a trade target for the Falcons. That deal never happened, but now, with Smith available as a free agent, Atlanta has a second chance to bring him home. Why Smith makes sense for the Falcons. Smith is 32 years old, and not the same dominant force he was when he racked up 12 sacks for the Green Bay Packers in 2019. But that could actually work in Atlanta's favor. Since he's no longer in his prime, Smith will likely be available at a much lower price, and even though he's not an elite pass rusher anymore, he could still produce 6 to 8 sacks per season while playing 50 to 65% of defensive snaps. Final thoughts. The Falcons need a consistent, experienced pass rusher to boost their defense. Smith may not be a long-term solution, but he could be the short-term fix they need. Should Atlanta bring Preston Smith home, or should they look elsewhere for an edge rusher? Let us know what you think. Falcons still searching for a pass rusher. Is Preston Smith the answer? The Atlanta Falcons have struggled to find a dominant edge rusher for years. In 2024, their leading pass rusher, Arnold Ebiketie, had just 6 sacks, which isn't nearly enough to build a championship defense. But one experienced pass rusher could be available at a bargain price: Preston Smith. Before we continue, attention Falcons fans. Before we dive into this breaking news, take a second to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update about your favorite team. Your support helps us bring you the latest Falcons news. Now, let's get back to the story. Atlanta's mistakes at edge rusher. The Falcons made 2 big mistakes in 2024 when it came to improving their pass rush. 1. They waited too long in the draft. Instead of picking an edge rusher early, they waited until day 2, choosing to draft quarterback Michael Penix Jr. instead. While Penix might be the team's future leader, ignoring the edge rusher position hurt the defense. They let key veterans walk away. Last offseason, the Falcons allowed Calais Campbell and Bud Dupree to leave in free agency. Their attempt to replace them with Matthew Judon didn't work out, leaving the defense thin on pass-rushing talent. Without a solid veteran presence or a young star on the opposite side, Arnold Ebiketie didn't develop as expected in 2024. Is Preston Smith the short-term fix? Smith isn't a long-term solution, but he could be the missing piece for Atlanta's defense right now. Think of him as a bridge player, someone who can hold down the position while the team finds a long-term answer, just like Calais Campbell or Bud Dupree did in past seasons. Last year, Smith played in 17 games, recording 4.5 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, 6 quarterback hits. Earlier in the season, he started 9 games for the Packers before moving to the Steelers, where he played about 30% of defensive snaps. Over his 10-year NFL career, Smith has been a consistent playmaker, racking up 70.5 career sacks, 74 tackles for loss, 157 quarterback hits. Final thoughts. Smith won't be a superstar signing, but he could bring stability to a defense in desperate need of pass-rushing help. Should the Falcons bring in Preston Smith as a short-term fix, or should they look elsewhere? Let us know in the comments.